What's going on, man? Welcome back to the basement. I'm Ron, and I told you guys we were going to stream every Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern on the dot. It's a little bit past 6 p.m., but, right around this time area, I wanted to go live to answer start-sit questions, and I will be honest, I did not think we were going to have much to talk about today, but the NFL is the gift that keeps on giving, and they give us, out of the blue, Christian McCaffrey is out for this weekend, and not only out for this weekend, but potentially getting put on the injured reserve, which is pretty brutal news at this point. This is somebody you drafted first overall. He's out this week. He's probably, if they put him on IR, we're talking, 4 weeks minimum. You don't get him back until week 6. I am curious, if we were to do a draft right now today, where would you guys even be taking Christian McCaffrey? This is pretty brutal. I do feel bad for having him as my 101 all offseason. I did have him there. I did want to show this Adam Levitan tweet because I think that he is honestly, I think that he's honestly spot on here. For any of you guys out there who took Christian McCaffrey 101, maybe beating yourself up, I do think that this is a good tweet for perspective because, again, obviously it's hard to have come out of draft season with, a shit ton of Christian McCaffrey on your teams, right? But if you were on here, I do feel bad because I know that there's definitely the people that they had just one fantasy draft and they had the 101 and they saw the rankings and they said, I'm going to go McCaffrey. And that's a pretty brutal situation to be in. Levitan breaks it down here, absurd and painful, right? So we get Kyle Shanahan says that Christian McCaffrey had his worst day health-wise yesterday in terms of pain. IR is now under consideration, which would mean missing at least the next 4 games. Levitan says absurd and painful, but don't think anyone should beat themselves up over taking CMC. We're roughly 0 August signs he was in trouble. Also, wouldn't let anyone tell you CMC was a bad pick. He's injury-prone. Dude hasn't missed a game due to injury since 2021. Was 39 straight games during which he touched the ball 20.5 times per game. So sometimes these things just happen in fantasy football. It's pretty brutal. It sucks really bad. If I was making rest of season rankings right now, I am curious what you guys think. If we did a draft today, and by the way, this is our Friday show. I'm going to talk off the top, just ramble a little bit about what's going on in the NFL, and then I'll answer a bunch of questions. We'll do an underdog draft, all of that. We'll be live for about an hour here. But I did just want to ramble about Christian McCaffrey because he is at the top of everybody's minds right now after this injury news. And I have to be honest, if we were talking, if we were to do a redraft right now of the fantasy season, McCaffrey assuming McCaffrey misses this game and anywhere from 2 to 4. Honestly, as crazy as it sounds, he's probably ends up as a 4th round pick, probably 3rd, 4th round pick. It's not super pretty, maybe early 3rd. But it does it sucks for everybody. I will say if you have Jordan Mason out there, which I'm very lucky, we draft with Jacob and Luke. I don't know why I said Luke, but Jacob and Liam on this channel. Liam Murphy was all over Jordan Mason. We have him on, I think we have him on our main event team with Liam and Jacob. And I will say, I don't know if we're going to do it this week, but I know that a lot of people have been asking for me to talk through some of the high stakes drafts we did during the summer. Maybe we could have a section of this Friday show, maybe at the very, very end, where I kind of show you guys what's going on. But it is tough to go through and show you guys 20 different teams after just 1 week. But dude, Jordan Mason, I know some people maybe said he was a sell high. I think that you just hold on to him at this point. There's so much uncertainty of McCaffrey, and you also have this weird wrinkle that, of course, this is a Super Bowl contending team, the 49ers, bringing him back in week 7 when they really just want him for a playoff run. This could be a long situation. And Jordan Mason could be, I don't know if I don't want to call him this year's Kyron Williams just yet, but one of these guys we look back on where he defines the season as a guy you got off waivers and just crushed for you in the meantime. So what else was I going to talk about today? Oh yeah, something else at the top of the show I wanted to mention before. Like I said, we're gonna answer start sits and stuff. I do just kind of want to ramble for a second here. Somebody brought it up, and I did want to talk about it. Charb. I don't know why I said Charb, but Zach Charbonnet. We have Kenneth Walker news here. Let me see if I can pull it up, which sucks. I will say, look, right now it looks like we're eating, some crow when it comes to Saquon Barkley. All right, we'll see what happens. Just 1 week so far. But in terms of the young running backs we were targeting either up top or even in the dead zone, I do like the list that we were targeting in the offseason, right? We were on Brees, Bijan, Achane, Gibbs, Taylor, but mostly really Achane, Kenneth Walker, James Cook. But the James Cook or the Kenneth Walker one isn't as fun here. We get news here. This is not what I was looking for. We have Kenneth Walker doubtful, which is pretty brutal. And I will be honest, I had a video today. I talked about my 10 starts and stats for week 2 of the fantasy football season. I was going to actually put Charbonnet on there, but I didn't want to because of the, just because of the uncertainty here. But there's a spot versus New England where New England, of course, was pretty good last week against the Bengals. But in terms of their rushing game on the ground, they weren't all that amazing versus the run. Zach Charbonnet should get some dump offs here. If Charbonnet is the RB1, right? If it seems like, if Kenneth Walker's doubtful, then he's not playing. Which Charbonnet then sort of rockets up to I think he's an RB2 at worst. I think I'm going to pull my rankings now so I can answer some start sits for you guys. But in terms of how I would view Charbonnet this week, because I think that this is important to talk about. He's going to be out there. Dude, if there's no Walker, he's going to be out there in all situations. I will be honest, Kenny McIntosh might be ever so slightly annoying. I think that's the only thing you got to look out for. I'm actually going to look at my rankings right now of where I'm probably going to end up putting him once I update these on Sunday. So I had Kenneth Walker as my RB16. I think I would move Charbonnet. If Walker gets ruled out, which of course that's what it's looking like right now, I probably move him up to my RB20, RB21 as a back-end RB2, but that might not even be enough. Because it gets tough. Would you rather have Zach Charbonnet or Montgomery, Stevenson, Etienne, Dobbins, Jacobs? Those are my back-end RB1s. I'd have him right in that area. I think, honestly, I might even end up just putting him squarely next to the top-end guys. Right where I had Walker as RB16. They are on the road. I want to say that they're favorites versus the Patriots. I don't know that matters a ton. But, yeah, that's where I'd end up. I'd have him, wherever you have, Ramondre Stevenson or Montgomery as, a back-end RB2, he's right there. So I would have him anywhere from, RB16 to, RB21. We'll see where he ends up settling out by the time we do this on Sunday, which I do on the Patreon. Just a quick start-sit stream over there for the people. But what do we got in here, man? Who's in here? What's up? How are we? We got Jack Heenley in here. All right, so that's enough of my rant for now. I don't really have anything else to talk about. Usually I do want to open these shows with Thursday Night Football thoughts, but that game was just depressing. Tua looked awful, and then he got a concussion, which was really sad to see. James Cook smashed. Outside of James Cook smashed and, Devon Achane victory laps, which are fun, right? He had 30 touches, or just shy of 30 touches, which is sick for all the people that were well, he's not going to get volume. It's he's going into year 2. He could see more volume. That was always the argument, but it's tough to take a victory lap when there was no Raheem Mostert, which a lot of those guys, part of the bet was that Raheem Mostert's fragile, but they won't accept that. And then the other part is that if, of course, Tua's going to miss some time, who knows how long, that certainly lowers the ceiling of this offense. I don't even want to say this out loud, because I would say, first of all, it's not the end of the world for Achane, because he's going to get a ton of checkdowns from Skylar Thompson, and I do trust Mike McDaniel to run a functional offense, but if we get robbed 2 years in a row here, fellas, if we get robbed 2 years in a row here of a monster running back season because the quarterback went down, last year, Breece Hall, Rodgers goes down, if this really screws up our Devon Achane, gangbusters, monster season because the quarterback goes down, I will be very upset, is what I'm trying to say here. But all right, we have a couple of super chats. What's up here? We got Jeb Cohen, half PPR. Trade CMC for Justin Jefferson straight up. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. If that's on the table, for sure. Again, like I said, I would have him as like a 2-3 turn pick if we were to draft again today. I think that's where I would have him. I'm appreciating the super chat from Konopka here. I don't know. He's Mikolehik Konopka. God, I screwed that up, man. Neighbors, Adams, Dell, sit one. If I had to sit one, I think I said Dell, but those are 3 wide receiver options that are tough to decide with. I actually think Devontae Adams is in a nice bounce back spot here. When I was doing the research for the 10 starts video today, Baltimore runs a ton of man. I think it's gonna be like a shitty version of the Ayuk Debo thing, but when a defense runs zone, it's Debo, and when a defense runs man, it's Ayuk. I think you're gonna have the same thing with Bowers, Devontae, where if it's a defense that runs zone, it's gonna be a lot of Bowers. If it's a lot of man, it's gonna be a lot of Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams should have a little bounce back here. And I would go Neighbors over Dell, just watch for the knee stuff. Tyler 1, LOL clips. Trade Puka 4 in full PPR. You got JT and Javonte as your running backs. I don't know. I'm not crazy about trying to trade Puka for like whatever you can get for him right now, but I don't know. I mean, if you could get, I don't know. That's a really tough question to answer. I will be honest. I'm going to be answering questions in this stream. I do think one of the worst brands of questions is, here's a player I have. Who should I trade him for? It's just easier if you guys just give me like, okay, player X versus player B, like what side of the trade do you want? That's much easier for me. But to, construct a trade for you in a league that I'm not in, and I don't know who has certain needs, I'll just tell you, I put Puka Nacua as my wide receiver 26 rest of season, which puts him, when I go over to my top 150, where does it put him? What range of player does it put him in? I have him ranked ahead of Josh Jacobs. I have him in the same area as like a James Cook. I have Derrick Henry in this area, Travis Etienne in this area. I have Puka in the 40. So if we were doing a draft today, I'd have him as like a 4th, 5th round pick. I don't know if you wanted to sell him for a running back. I think you certainly could. It just depends on what running back that would be. I think Jacobs, if the Josh Jacobs owner is like soured on the Jordan Love injury, maybe that's the one to do. But I don't know. That's tough. PPR, should I trade London and Collins for Tyreek and Diggs? Honestly, I think I would. But I would maybe want more clarity on this Tua situation is kind of what it comes down to for me. Allen Lazard versus Calvin Ridley. And I will get to the normal chat here in a second. You guys just keep on blessing me here. Allen Lazard versus Calvin Ridley. I think it has to be Calvin Ridley. I get wanting to get cute with Lazard. I get it, but I just can't. And I know, like, Ridley, the Jets defense is pretty brutal. Lazard might get open again versus the Titans, but I just can't. I just can't in my right mind recommend doing that. All right, so what else we got in normal chat here? What else? What else we got in here? Waddle and Stevenson for Puke. I don't know what that means. Oh, for Puka? No shot. Burrow or Fields? Honestly, give me... I have them literally back to back, man. I have Burrow QB 15. I have Fields QB 16. I don't feel amazing about either. Probably Burrow, but man, you could get burned again. What else we got in here? I did want to pull up Underdog in a second here. You said Titans are brutal. Drafting Kincaid has been the worst so far. Yeah, it's not been fun. Zach Moss or Charbonnet? I would go Charbonnet there. Like Charbonnet for me, like I said, like I'd have him like RB 16 to like RB 20 ish range. Adams and Ramondre for DJ Moore and Henry in half PPR. I think I prefer Adams and Ramondre, but it's like very close. I'm gonna pull my rest of season rankings here, which by the way, you can find my rest of season rankings. You can find on the Patreon, patreon.com/Ron Stewart. DJ Moore versus Devontae Adams. I have him back to back, and then Ramondre versus Derrick Henry. Actually, I probably prefer the Derrick Henry side. Give me DJ Moore and Derrick Henry there. What else we got in here? All right, let me get caught up with the chat here. You're gonna send it on AD Mitchell this week over Calvin Ridley. I actually don't hate that. I do have Ridley ranked ahead of him, but if you do just want pure upside, I don't hate that move. Moore or Olave rest of season. I have Olave higher rest of season than DJ Moore right now, but it's very close. They're both in the same tier. It's tough. That there's like a fat wide receiver 2 tier that's not very defined. Like my wide receiver 12 through 20 are all in the same tier for me. Give me Richardson over Daniels rest of season. Smooth Criminal ENT with the super chat. Thank you, man. Trade Rice Neighbors Javonte for CMC. No, sir. No, sir. I'm not trading for CMC. I'm letting the CMC owner figure that out for himself. I think Rashee Rice, now that Marquise Brown is on IR or whatever, smash hit. Neighbors could be a smash hit. Javonte's also a nice depth piece. Yeah, I'm not doing any 3-for-1s for CMC right now, I don't think. Ayuk for Worthy and Likely. If I needed a tight end, I'd debate it, but I don't think so. What should I do with Tyreek? You just kind of hold and wait for what they do at quarterback. Because if Tua is out for season or if he retires or whatever, I don't even really want to speculate about what Tua is going to be doing here. But with the QB uncertainty, point blank, whatever happens there, I do think that the team is too good for them to roll with Skylar Thompson, and you should get a Ryan Tannehill or like a veteran who should be okay. Flowers or London is in like this week. If it's this week, then I probably prefer Drake London. DeMarcus Robinson or Jaden Reed, Brock. This is disgusting, man. And by the way, Brock is my boy, so I can rag on him for this start sit, but I think I still go Jaden Reed, man. I know that it's a bad quarterback. I know Malik Willis is brutal, but it just has to happen. I think you just have to let him eat. We did get another super chat here. I don't want to skip over these too much. Thanks for all the hard work for us. I appreciate it, man. Do you think it's a wise move to bench Marvin Harrison if you have McConkey, JSN, or Worthy? You know what, man? I have Marv as my wide receiver 26 this week, but I have Worthy wide receiver 32. I wouldn't really consider JSN. I think Worthy and Ladd McConkey, I personally wouldn't do it myself. I think that there's a really strong case for Worthy over Marvin Harrison Jr. So if you'd like to, I think you certainly can, is kind of what I'll say there. What else is in here? Won't see McCaffrey until week 10. Honestly, that wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't. Yeah, I would love, dude, if they could pick up the phone, call Flacco, call Jameis Winston. I don't even want to say this out loud, but like Andy Dalton, I think wouldn't be crazy. We got 2 super chats here. Let me pull up Underdog real quick, fellas. I do want to hop into some battle royales. Shout out Underdog Fantasy, of course. They are what keeps the show afloat. You can see here, Underdog Fantasy. Use promo code Rondo. Match your first deposit up to $1,000. I do want to make sure that that I let you guys know whatever promos they have for this week. Yeah, you just got a billion things you can do here. Like when it comes to Underdog, they have a ton of promos going on every week. You have a free pick for CeeDee Lamb on the Sunday games. You have McMillan and Luther Burden college pick'ems. Like discounted lines here. This is sick. This is where I wish that Underdog Pick'em was in Jersey. I'm very, very jealous. That is sick. 10% deposit match for existing customers. Oh, that's actually really nice. If you're already on Underdog, this is actually pretty crazy. But I would recommend following this account, like putting post notifications on. Crazy promos every single week. Man, I am jealous of this. This is very fun here. But let's hop on Underdog. Hopefully I'm already signed in. I am. And if you guys want to see how we did last weekend, we didn't do amazing, but I am kind of happy with the results here, fellas. We did 5 drafts. We paid in for $25. We made $22, so a minus $3 net profit, which honestly, on a $25 investment for fantasy football, it could be a lot worse than that, you know? But our best lineup last week was this. We had Richardson, James Cook, Kenneth Walker, Justin Jefferson, Nico Collins, Kyle Pitts. All right, so let's hop into some more battle royales here, which we'll just have on in the background, and then I'll just answer. We'll answer more questions here as well. I do appreciate all the super chats, by the way. I will get to those in a second. All right, so let's hop into one of these. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but should be fun. Oh, the hell's the issue? It is pretty crazy that they have these for college football as well, which is pretty sick. All right, let's come on. Oh my god, dude, you got to be kidding me. There we go. All right. Let me just get this in a frame that I like, and then we will talk some ball here. How about it? Man, I don't know. Let's do this. I think that this will work. I don't know. It's not the best presentation for this, but we shall figure it out here. What else do we got? All right, so we got some super chats that I have missed so far. You're saying, let's see. Quarterback, so 12 team, half PPR, one quarterback, one flex. I'd like to know how many receivers you got, but I'm assuming it's 2 wide receivers, 1 flex. You have Matthew Stafford, you have Saquon, you have Derrick Henry, you have Debo Pickens, you have Ingram, you have Aaron Jones. Your bench is Puka, Higgins, Keenan. What the hell is the question here, man? It's just check out my team. I mean, I'd say it looks good. I mean, everything looks stacked. It's 12-teamer. Aaron Jones, Keenan Allen off the bench, Higgins off the bench. You can wait for Puka to come back. Yeah, I'd say that's a solid team. We got, should I trade Puka and ETN for CMC? I have Mason. No, sir. No, sir. I'm not making, I do want to just make this loud and clear, fellas. I've gotten this question a few times today. I am making no trade for McCaffrey. I do not want to buy low. I do not want anything to do with McCaffrey. That's genuinely how I feel right now. I am not buying. I am not buying low. I'm not trying to do any of that. I just do not want him on my teams. I just don't think it's worth it. 2 wide receiver, 1 flex, full PPR. Rashi, Rice, Pittman, Devontae Smith, Ayuk, and JMO. What 3 would you start? So Rice for sure, Devontae Smith for sure, and then probably Ayuk for me. Rice for sure, but who else? Also got Aaron Jones, but bad matchup. Yeah, I think for me it's Rashi, Rice, Devontae Smith, Ayuk, personally. Let's see. So we went Amon-Ra St. Brown here. Let's hit the other side of that game with Mike Evans. Why not? Next thing we have here is Gray OG Smoke. Hell yeah. Flex JSN or 80 Mitchell. Would you trade Neighbors for Marvin Harrison Jr.? I would hold on to Neighbors for Marv. I have them like both next to each other for rest of season at this point. And I would still start JSN over 80 Mitchell. I do love 80 Mitchell, fellas. I should have prefaced on the starts and stats video. I like 80 Mitchell, but don't jam him into your lineups this week. It's only if you're down bad. Maybe throw a little flyer bet on him. Maybe take his higher on Underdog. Anything, something like that, instead of forcing him into the lineup this week. Sup-Ron, full PPR, pick 2 between Najee, Ford, Tank, and Brian Thomas Jr. Huh, that's a tough one. I think what I would do is for sure Tank Dell. And then it's Najee versus Jerome Ford. I think I go Najee and Tank Dell there. I do. I think that's where I lean. What else we got? Sammy Buckets. 12-man full PPR. You traded Montgomery, Mark Andrews, and Devontae Smith for James Conner, Laporta, and Puka. 0.5 per... I don't even know what RA means, man. Receptions and attempts. I'm going to assume that that's touches, maybe. I have Amon-Ra, so hoping that duo plus JT wins the ship. Oh, my goodness. So you traded Montgomery, Andrews, and Devontae for Connor, Laporta, and Puka. I got to be honest with you guys. I'm not really big on trading for any of the injured players. I don't really want to take any of that onto my team. I just think it's unnecessary. I'm not trading for Puka. I'm not trading for McCaffrey. I'm not trading for any of these guys dealing with injuries, to be honest with you. I guess on paper that trade seems fine. On paper the trade seems fine. Again, I'm not big on trading for that kind of profile, I guess you could call it. So that's where I'm at. But I do think like you won the trade. Maze Devil. 2 wide receiver, 1 flex, Sharp, Ramondre, or Dobbins. Wow, that's a tough one. Sharp, Ramondre, or Dobbins. You know what, man? I think you got to go Charbonnet and Dobbins, dude. I think so. I almost want to move Dobbins up my running back rankings. Like, if you have Dobbins, he's in this smash matchup against the Panthers. Anywhere you have Dobbins, you got to fire him up. We talked about it with Dobbins before. He's here for a good time, not a long time. While he's crushing and while he's getting easy matchups like the Panthers, he has to get in your lineup. Devontae Smith, Tony Pollard, Najee for Waddle and Pacheco. Devontae Smith, Pollard, Najee for Waddle and Pacheco. That's actually a really tough one. Waddle gets a pretty big downgrade here. I still really like Pacheco. I think if I was to prefer either, I think I would prefer Pacheco's side. I just don't love selling Pacheco there. All right, so this is where we get into trouble because I don't know what the hell I'm doing here. We'll go Kittle. Then we're going to just scroll the hell down on running back here, I think. All right, let's get back to the normal chat here. What else we got in here? Thoughts on London? I don't know. I wouldn't call it a make or break week this week, but I mean, if it's as close to a make or break week as you could possibly get, man. He is going to be on the road versus the Eagles. The Packers, killed the Eagles secondary last week. It's a weak unit. It should be a good matchup, but I don't know. We're now 3 years into the Drake London experience, and we're yet to really get anything too crazy. So, I mean, you're hoping he plays well, but then it's time to panic if he doesn't. 80 or Jaden Reed. I'm going Jaden Reed there. Realistic targets to offload McCaffrey. Man, I genuinely think, I would trade him straight up for Brees. I mean, and I'm not saying to go do this. I'm just saying, this is the list of players I have. We're going to scroll way down. I don't know. Give me Zach Moss. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. All right, let's hop into another one of these. Why not? I'm telling you guys, I'm going to ship one of these things. All right. But yeah, so in terms of just running backs, I would take over him right now. I would take Brees, Saquon, Bijan, Gibbs, Kyron, JT, Achane. Probably end of list. I think it gets close with Pacheco. Wide receivers I prefer over him: CeeDee Lamb, Tyreek Hill, Kupp, Amon-Ra, A.J. Brown, Jefferson, Chase, Garrett Wilson. I think it gets close with Rashee Rice, Debo, Evans type of area. I think that's where it gets too close for me. So that's kind of the range that I have him in at this point. Like I said, I would have him as a round 2-3 turn pick. I definitely kick the tires, but I don't know if anyone's going to willingly want him from your hands, Was able to trade Likely and Eckler for McBride. That's a massive W, Benson. That's a massive W. We got Simon Joseph in here. Yo, Ron, I got to be honest with you. I don't know what the hell LTL FTC means. What the hell does that mean? All right, whatever. Dynasty here. What's your take on Tyreek? Will he survive bad quarterback? Sell for cut plus if contending? Buy if contending? What price? Huh. That is interesting. I will be honest. My dynasty brain has kind of been shut off here recently. I do plan on doing a dynasty rankings update after week 4, right? When we talked about in the Top 10 Lessons show that the first 4 weeks, that's when we really get data. I think that'll be when it's good to make a dynasty rankings update when we have enough data on everybody. I honestly don't think the quarterback play is going to be that bad. I think he will survive the bad quarterback play. It will be frustrating, but I don't think that there's any quarterback to me. Cooper Kupp, I don't know. Puka's going to come back eventually, and Cooper Kupp, when they used him last week, it wasn't all that efficient. You can't build your offense out of 21 Cooper Kupp targets. So I think there is similar concerns with all of the old veteran type plays. If you wanted to truly make an upgrade to Tyreek, to me, it would be Lamb, Amon-Ra, A.J. Brown, Jefferson, guys who are really expensive. So I'm probably just holding on to Tyreek. If there is a buy low opportunity, I probably would take it as well. Because I do just kind of trust McDaniel to puppeteer some random quarterback. Let's do Garrett Wilson here as well. Then we have Nate Tannehill. Hey Ron, 12-team PPR. You lost Tua. I will say as well, fellas, I'm literally looking homeless these days. I had a haircut scheduled last Friday. I've been dying to get a haircut, and it just fell through. Man, the wide receivers are rough here. Let's do James Conner. What was I trying to say there? Yeah, I'm getting a haircut soon. I can't wait for my haircut. I'm getting a haircut tomorrow. That's all. I don't know why I decided to bring that up, but my hair has been bugging me. Tua, you lost Tua. You have Kupp, Rice, and Wilson. In a 2 wide receiver, 1 flex, Odunze, Brian Thomas Jr., Waddle on the bench. Would you do Brian Thomas Jr. for Love? Stream until he's back. I would not trade Brian Thomas Jr. for Jordan Love, no. Same settings, different league, Jordan Mason or Devontae Smith for the flex. I probably go Jordan Mason over Devontae Smith. Which, by the way, if anyone has questions on Jordan Mason, I have him as like a must-start RB10 type of guy this week. Like, if I have Mason, I'm getting him in the lineup no matter what. But yeah, I wouldn't do Brian Thomas Jr. for Jordan Love. I would just stream the position at this point. I think you can. In a 12-team league, you should be able to stream. For like streaming advice, I like Subverta down. Really just any quarterback rankings as well that you trust. Start Josh Palmer, Allen Lazard, or Brandon Cooks. For me, that's Brandon Cooks by a lot. Could Worthy be more well-rounded with no Hollywood? Oh, 100%. No Hollywood is massive for Worthy because this gives him even more of a runway and audition for him to be like a real receiver who's not getting like a couple of, gadget-type touches, like somebody who's really out here getting work. So that is super, super exciting. Let's do Kyler. Again, fellas, I don't know what I'm doing in these, but they are fun just to draft. Gibbs and Jamison Williams for Olave, Kenneth Walker, likely. I'm assuming that's thoughts. Gibbs and Jamison Williams for Olave, Kenneth Walker, and Isaiah Likely. I think I probably prefer Gibbs' side, man. I know it's a 2 for 3, but I just think that Gibbs is the best player in the deal. And I would just rather have Gibbs. I do think value-wise it's probably fine, but I do probably just prefer holding on to Gibbs there. All right, let's make this pick. Know what, man? Zona, Rams. Give me Mark Andrews squeaky wheel. I'm fine with that. Trade Richardson, Achane, Puka for Love, Wilson, Cook. I'm going to assume that's like Jordan Love. Richardson, Achane, Puka for Jordan Love, Garrett Wilson, James Cook. That's a tough one. I think I would have Achane and Garrett Wilson about the same value. I would probably have James Cook just ahead of Anthony Richardson. And then it's like Puka and Jordan Love are pretty far off. I probably prefer Puka side there, but it's really close. I think I prefer Puka side. I've been fleecing. I have Mahomes, Bijan, Mixon, Jacobs, Kupp, Jefferson, Deontay, and McBride. Bench is super thin. See, these are always tough, man. I don't know your league. You didn't tell me what. Okay, so hold on. You have Mahomes, Bijan, Mixon, Jacobs. So that's running back through the flex. Kupp, Jefferson, Deontay, and McBride. No, dude. If you have Kupp and Jefferson, I think you're fine, man. I think you're fine. I think that you'd just be solving a problem you don't have. I think I would just hold on to where I'm at there. Cooper or Dell this weekend, want a backup option just in case A.J. Brown misses. For me, so it's Amari Cooper versus Tank Dell. I love Tank Dell this week. I would be starting Tank Dell over Amari Cooper, but I do get the idea with Amari Cooper. You know what? Let's scroll down here. Let's just see what else is here. Maybe it's a David Montgomery game, man. Like I said, I don't know what I'm doing. All right, let's do another. Is it Demarcus Robinson? Nope. Ron, should I trade Pollard for DJ Moore? I think I would. If I didn't need a running back, I would. What else do we got? You might take Christian McCaffrey to 3-4 turn. I don't hate that call either. I just think when you actually map it out and you talk about what players, it's not great. Mason and Robinson Jr. for Henry. Man, I think on paper that looks good, dude. But I don't love Derrick Henry, and I don't really want to trade off of Jordan Mason. That's where I'm at there. I think on paper you win that deal, but I don't want to give up Jordan Mason really. Should I swap Chase Brown for Javonte Williams? I don't know. I think that's trading like $1 for $1. Who would you start if he is out? Bigsby, Dowdle, or Irving? Rico Dowdle there for me. The Cowboys are projected to score a lot of points. You just hope that Dowdle falls in the end zone. Do I trade Brian Thomas Jr. and Jordan Mason for Marvin Harrison Jr.? As crazy as it sounds, I don't think so. You have the rookie receiver who's actually performing, and you have potentially like Jordan. I can't stress enough, fellas. Like Jordan Mason could define this season, where he is the Kyren Williams, the guy you got off waivers and is a league winner. I'm not saying that McCaffrey's for sure going to go on IR or he could miss a shit ton of games, but the RB1 on the 49ers, I know it's Jordan Mason, and it sounds like a created player's name, and it's tough to take seriously as like a real guy, but I want a legit proven stud, and to me, Marvin Harrison Jr. isn't that, so I would hold personally. Start two between Charbonnet, Madison, Javonte. Give me Charbonnet and Javonte there. If you have a Packers fan that's trying to give you Kyren Williams for Jaden Reed, you take that for sure. What else is in here? Long-time listener, first-time caller. Oh, hell yeah. Do I start Tank Dell over Ingram in the flex if I'm starting Nico wide receiver 1? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Is Dobbins RB1 overall this week? No, but you could talk me into it. Lad McConkey or Brian Thomas Jr. I have them like back-to-back, but I would prefer Lad McConkey personally. Just because Brian Thomas Jr. is playing the Browns. It's a really tough matchup. Lad McConkey versus the Carolina Panthers. The only concern there is volume, right? Like they might just kill the Panthers and not have to pass the ball a ton, but if they do, that's something you certainly want then. You know what, dude? Give me Rashee Rice. Amari and Dowdle for Rashee Rice. Oh, all day, man. All day I'd do that. Tank Dell or Xavier Worthy? I go Tank Dell this week. Neighbors and Mason for Kyren. That's actually not crazy. You could talk me into that. I don't know. Like I said, I know that everyone keeps asking me trades about Jordan Mason. I'd want to just hold on to him, man. You said start Rashee Rice, Ayuk, and Devontae Smith. Would I play Zay Flowers over any of them is kind of what you're asking here. I would not. I would not, no. Right, Devontae Smith, Ayuk, and Rashee Rice? No, sir. I appreciate the super chat. Jared Goff or Jaden Daniels. For me, I have Jaden Daniels. Even it's actually funny you bring this up because I actually have a league, the subscriber league. Give me Mahomes here. In the subscriber league, I have Jared Goff, Jaden Daniels, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. So I'm in the same position as you, and I'm actually starting Jaden Daniels this week. Assuming K9 is out, would you start Charbonnet or Eckler? Dude, I can't stress enough, fellas. Sharp is a top 20 play if Kenneth Walker sits out. Eckler is like my RB31. You said Dobbins needs 4 TDs to beat James Cook. We'll see if he can do it. What else is in here? When are people going to respect the Madden curse? I will say, fellas, it's getting about that time for me to order something on DoorDash, so it gets here around when I finish up. What else is in here? Should I still try to trade for Tank if I have Nico and CJ? You certainly could. I think that 2 pass catchers is about the limit. I will say if it's a 2 wide receiver 1 flex, I'd probably chill out on that. What else? Evan Ingram or Likely in full PPR. Probably Evan Ingram this week, but I do have him in the same tier though. Let's do JT. Start Worthy or Marvin Harrison Jr.? Man, I keep getting this question. Should I move up Xavier Worthy? Because I wasn't really assuming Hollywood Brown was going to play, but I kind of was. Let me see. Because that is now the second time I've gotten that question. No, I don't think even Josh Norris would go this far of starting Dobbins over Gibbs this week. That's probably a bridge too far for me. Let's see. I'm Marv over JSN for sure. See, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the super chat. These are always super tough. Kyler, Bijan, Achane, Rice, Neighbors, London, Mason, McBride. You show me a stacked team and you ask if I should make any trades. No, sir. I would just sit tight. Your team looks sick for the time being. Let's see. So Minnesota, San Fran, KC, Cincinnati. No, give me Jaden Reed. We'll scroll the hell down on Jaden Reed. Whatever. What if he's the guy you need this week? And then we'll just take a random tight end here. So I did want to see if I should be putting. Should I be putting? I have Xavier Worthy wide receiver 32 this week. I do wonder if he should be inside of like the top 26, 28-ish. Would be where I'd be curious of putting him. It is tough. No Hollywood Brown. There should be a higher floor for his targets. Yeah, this is what we're gonna do. Actually, I'm gonna make this change on the fly here. I have Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm actually gonna bump him down a few spots here. I'm going to bring up Xavier Worthy. I'm going to bring up Worthy because I do think if you have Worthy, you should be getting him in your lineup. I'm actually going to move him up to my wide receiver 26, which, by the way, I'm doing this literally live as we're speaking here on the Patreon Google Sheet for my rankings. And I'm moving Marvin Harrison Jr. back to my wide receiver 29. So Xavier Worthy at wide receiver 26 is now a spot where he's kind of a must start because I do want that to sort of be the case when you guys are deciding your start sits. Let's go. You know what? I'll take Andrews, whatever. So that's where I'm going to put him for now. Let's see. So, yeah, I will say I answered somebody else earlier of like Marvin Harrison Jr. Versus Xavier Worthy. I will say I'm team Xavier Worthy over Marvin Harrison Jr. this week officially. What else? What else we got in here? Pick 3, Ford, Mason. So Mason for sure. Dobbins for sure, and then Charbonnet for me. Another super chat that we got here. Let's see. You traded Mason, Watson. You traded... What the hell, man? I appreciate you guys, but I don't know what the hell is going on here. I'm going to assume that this is Mason. I'm assuming it's like Christian Watson for Olave yesterday. If that's the case, I think that that's probably fine. Like, I'm not crazy about it because, like I said, I'd rather not trade Jordan Mason right now, but that's pretty good value, I think. What's this one? You said 14 teams, half PPR, Allen, Achane, JT, Montgomery, Mason, Neighbors, Amari Cooper, Brian Thomas, Ferguson, and likely only 3 bench. Should I try and trade for a receiver? I say you certainly could. If you want to take Ferguson and one of your running backs and trade for a receiver, you definitely can. What else we got in here? He said, so glad you didn't start Jeff Wilson yesterday because you have Charbonnet on the bench. Wow. That's actually huge. I don't know. Man, I think I started Jeff Wilson like in 1 or 2 spots, which of course wasn't great. But I will be curious to see if I also had Charbonnet on those teams. Because if you guys remember, the teams I was drafting over the summer, over the summer, we took a good chunk of Charbonnet early on in the season. All right, I'm going to order something real quick, fellas, so we can kind of do this as I'm waiting for it to deliver on over here. What are we thinking for dinner, man? Some chicken teriyaki over rice could be good. Some sushi could be good. A Chipotle bowl could be good. You know what, man? Huh. Decisions, fellas. So many decisions. I think we might just go very simple and go with Chipotle. Hate to see it. Nah, we're going to go teriyaki chicken over rice is what I've decided. All right, I'm going to order that now, and I'll get back to some questions here, fellas. And we'll go for like another 15 or so minutes. I will say if you're in here, leave a like, subscribe if you're new, check out Underdog Fantasy. That's what we're drafting on right now. You can do their weekly stuff. You can do their pick'ems. They have college football stuff going on. Order some Buffalo. I don't even know what that is, man. Traded Pitts, Javonte Neighbors for Puka McBride, Tyjae Spears. I said it earlier, fellas. I'm not crazy about trading for Puka Nacua right now. I think McBride is really carrying this trade. I'm fine with the McBride side. I think that's like dead even to me when I look at that. You said full PPR flex play. Worthy or Brian Thomas Jr. Give me Worthy there. You know you want Chipotle. Trade Henry, Stevenson, Jaden Reed for Adams and Kenneth Walker. No, I'm all good there. I'm not trading for Kenneth. I'm not. I know that it's like a very. I know it's a very boomer take of me. But I'm not trading for anyone who's injured, man. I'm not trading for McCaffrey. I'm not trading for Kenneth Walker. I'm not trading for Puka Nacua. I know you guys keep on sending me trades with those guys in them. I'm not interested in any of them, if I'm being completely honest with you guys. Charbonnet or Aaron Jones to the flex. Give me Charbonnet over Aaron Jones. And then Keenan Allen or Pickens. Give me Keenan Allen over Pickens. Pickens is in a tough spot, man. He's going to get shadowed by Surtain this week, so I would probably not leave him on the bench, but he's a flex play this week. Start Swift, Moss, or Singletary this week. Swift, Moss, or Singletary. I think I'd probably go Singletary there, man. Let me look. Yeah, you know what? Give me Singletary. We talked about it in the 10 starts and stats video today, which, by the way, if you haven't already, make sure you check that out when this stream is done. I go through 10 kind of like, I would say like RB2 flex play, some like desperation plays as well there. Just to give you guys, I mean, you can use it for your lineups, you can use it for DFS, you can use it to kind of put a parlay together, you can use it underdog pick'em lobby, all of that. But I really do like Singletary this week, so I'll go him among those three. DeMarcus Robinson or Ladd McConkey. I'm going to go Ladd McConkey there. I actually think Ladd McConkey's in a great spot here. It just comes down to how many times the Chargers have to actually pass the ball versus a really bad Panthers team. Dobbins or Jacobs. Give me Dobbins over Jacobs. You said you had to go. I don't even know what bold Joji is over Rice. Maybe I got to try some Korean food for sure. From Champloo Ace here. You got, it's one quarterback, two flex. I don't know how many receiver spots. I'm going to assume it's two receiver, two flex, but it's Hill, Cup, Rice, Dell, Odunze, Olave. Yeah, I mean, you're looking great there. HN, Montgomery, Brooks, yeah. Fields, Caleb, yeah. Hawk, Parkinson, yeah. That'll work. That's a sick team. Start Najee or Dobbins. I'm Dobbins there. Like I said, fellas, if you have Dobbins, I need a stud to not play Dobbins. Like, give me Dobbins over Brian Thomas Jr. Trade Hill. I would trade Tyreek Hill for Amon-Ra St. Brown today. I would. Um, what else is in here? We got Cody Miller in here. Cooper or DK Metcalf for the flex. I'm going to go DK Metcalf there. That's a tough matchup, though. I have Metcalf wide receiver 28. I have Amari Cooper wide receiver 30 right now. Trade Hill for... Okay, I already answered that. Are we benching CeeDee Lamb? No, sir. No, sir. Yeah, I don't know. This team is dead. I'm just going to get duped here. Like, none of these... All these guys are drafted in every lobby. Like I said, I don't know what I'm doing in these, but they are fun to get into and do. What else? You traded Freiermuth for McConkey straight up? Oh, yeah, dude. That is sweet. That is sweet. I will say as well, fellas, I wanted to do a sell targets video this week. It's just tough every week or every year, and it's kind of... I kind of felt bad about it. It's kind of amateur hour for me. Getting into the routine of in-season content is difficult because I'm doing so much on... Like, you know, I'm putting out waiver wire article, rest of season rankings, weekly rankings, on top of trying to get videos for you guys every day of the week during the season. I will say I fully plan to have a... so we did buy targets on Wednesday. I did want to have a sell targets video come out on Thursday. I was not able to get that video out. I just didn't have enough time. I debated getting it up today and then getting the stats video out tomorrow, but it just didn't happen. Yeah, and it's honestly, I was going to put it out tomorrow, but a sell targets video on a Saturday just isn't going to do it. So if you want to know who I was going to list as my sell targets, it was Michael Pittman. He's my wide receiver 30 rest of season. Just not that crazy about him being attached to Anthony Richardson. We already kind of saw Richardson had just 9 completions. It's just not really going to be great for him. I have ETN as a sell. Tank Bigsby was involved like super, super early. ETN had 68% of the snaps, which actually ended up putting him back in that area last year. He didn't have under 70% of the snaps last year until week 10. And if you guys remember, that's where he fell off last year. From weeks 10 on, he was at 13 points per game. That's kind of where he's operating now, as like a very, very fringe RB1. Like I have him like RB12 rest of season. If I had ETN in a managed league, I'd feel bad about it. Evan Ingram, I don't even think Evan Ingram's necessarily bad. I just don't think that he's great. And if I could use him to buy Trey McBride or Sam Laporta, I would. Keenan Allen, if you have a nerd in your league who's going to look at Keenan Allen's targets and say, oh, they're feeding him, he's going to be the focal point of the offense, I'd be selling. The QB School, who I love, I watch most of his videos. He kind of pointed out they built the offense out of Keenan Allen, and it worked terribly. I would be hesitant to chase usage from a team from a game where the offense just like couldn't function. Like, they're not going to go into this next week with a game plan of feed Keenan Allen on like these option routes again, because it looked so bad last week. They're going to change. You're going to see more first read targets with DJ Moore. So I would be selling Keenan Allen to anybody who's like going crazy about his 11 target game or whatever. We'll go with Jefferson here. And you know what? Give me Debo, whatever. What else do we got? All right, so also I'm selling Rachaad White. I think Bucky Irving is going to eat into that workload a bunch. If I could sell him, what else do I have? What? Rachaad White. If I could sell him, you can't sell him for James Cook anymore, huh? He's a tough one. I'm trying to think of like what I would even like try and sell him for. I wouldn't mind selling him for like Neighbors or London or Olave or one of those guys, but and then I also have Gus Edwards, who I think is just dust, and I don't even have him in my top 50 running backs rest of season at this point. If anybody out there, if there's somebody that needs a running back start in your league and you can sell him Gus Edwards for like literally anything. If you can do Gus Edwards for like Ladd McConkey or one of these rookies, I would. I would even do Gus Edwards for like A.D. Mitchell, I think. I'd be looking to get whatever I could. But all right. That's all I wanted to say. Those are some sell targets that I didn't get to make a video about this week. We do have some super chats that I missed. Saw your video, JSN over Metcalf, or were you just saying JSN? All right, so I need to be more clear when I do those videos. It's just a move for someone in need, like you said at the end there. I have JSN, like in the video as well, you can see I have him wide receiver 40 this week. So not ahead of Metcalf, but somebody that I'm fine flexing. I'm gonna have to say something at the top next video. Some people do get carried away and they're like, all right, now I'm gonna throw AD Mitchell in my lineup. Not saying that that's what you're doing, but you said, who do I start in 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, full PPR with 2 flexes? You have running backs Bijan and Achane, Mason, Charbonnet, Nico, Dell, Worthy, Jameson, Cooks, and T. That's actually really tough. I think for sure you go Bijan. I assume you played Achane last night. You go Mason for sure. You go Nico for sure. You go Dell for sure. I think. Let me get back to you on this real quick. Give me Jaden Daniels. What if the stack you need this week is Jaden Daniels and Austin Eckler, man? I don't know what I'm doing. Give me Gibbs. So the 2 running backs, I'm going Bijan, Achane. One of the flexes is Mason. The 2 receivers are Nico and Dell. So then it comes down to, really for me, it comes down to Worthy versus Charbonnet. And I'd probably go Worthy over Charb. So I would go Bijan, Achane, Mason, Nico, Dell, Worthy. That's where I'm at. What else do we got? Hell yeah, this is such a wholesome comment. Because of your videos, I was invited to play with my kids' fantasy football league, and so far, being week 1, I come out on first place. I never played fantasy football, so thank you so much. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. I'm glad that you got something to bond over with your kids or whatever. I know I know I probably could have framed that better, but that is sick. I do. You guys would be surprised how many like father-son listeners I get, and that is very wholesome to me. I do appreciate that. We got Brandon Gianascoli in here. Traded Mason and Worthy for Neighbors yesterday. That's probably about right. Like I said though, fellas, like I'm not dying to trade Mason. I think that's probably a return that you could definitely rest easy on, you know? I think that's a turn you could definitely rest easy on. Like I don't think that's anything to be upset about is what I'm trying to say there. All right, we're going to get really weird here. We're going to go Theo Johnson. I don't know what I'm doing. So yeah, like I said, I'm not dying to do it, but I think that's a deal like value-wise would be like about even for me. All right, we're going to do one last underdog draft here. I'm going to try and get as much questions in as possible. Then we're going to wrap it up after that. What else? Cooks or Gabe Davis? I'm going Cooks there. Shaheed, Cooks, Jacoby, and Marcus Robinson are all players I can add, but I have to replace Sutton. Do you replace him with any of them? No, I'd probably just hold on to Cortland Sutton there. Probably would. Actually, man, give me Brandon Cooks over Cortland Sutton. I think so, dude. I think so. Brandon Cooks is like someone you can actually start in a given week. DeMarcus Robinson or Wandale. Give me... Man, I have him back-to-back, dude. Give me DeMarcus Robinson, I think, still. Can you drop Rico Dowdle for guys like Tyjae Spears or Bucky Irving? Honestly, I'm still holding on to Rico ahead of those guys, but they're all in the same tier. Trade Achane for Brees or Bijan. If that was on the table, I would. As much as I love Achane, if somebody offered you Brees or Bijan trade up for him, I would take that. What else is in here? What ranking are we giving Charbonnet if he starts? I'd have him as a back-end RB2, personally. Someone dropped Evan Ingram in a full PPR league. You're in. Do you drop Bowers, Amir White, JSN, or Chase Brown for him? Man, that's a tough one. I think, honestly, because you have... Man, that's tough. You already have Bowers. You're not dropping Bowers. I think if you're dropping anyone, it's Chase Brown for him. It just comes down to, do you think you can trade Evan Ingram? Because I think Bowers is very much fine, and I would have him as a similar player as Evan Ingram. I wouldn't mind just letting him sit on waivers and just letting him kind of chill there. So what else do we got? Have I missed any super chats? I want to say no. Yeah, I don't think I have. All right. So what else is in here? Pick up Tank for Chase Brown. No. I'm still holding out hope on Chase Brown over Tank Bigsby there. Amon-Ra or Jamar, what do you think? I mean, that's if that's a genuine choice for you, that's pretty insane. But I'm Amon-Ra St. Brown over Jamar Chase this week. McConkey or Sharp? I'm probably Charbonnet there. People in the chat, though, seem like they don't like Charbonnet a ton. They think Kenny McIntosh is going to be in the mix. But even McIntosh is in the mix. Like, Charbonnet's going to get 15-plus touches here. I think that has to mean something. Drop right for Dowdle. No, I'm holding on to right there. Said have to... Where did this go? Have to drop one. Who would you rather drop? Bucky, Tyjae, or Bucky? I'd probably rather drop Bucky Irving there, but it is really close. Sharp or Tank Dell? I'd actually go Tank Dell there. I would go Charbonnet over Marvin Harrison Jr. Zamir White rest of season is pretty much dust, man. It's pretty brutal. He only benefits from game scripts where the Raiders are winning, and that's just not going to happen a lot this season. That's kind of the issue. Give me Neighbors. Why not? Who gets left out? Mason, Gibbs, Nico, or Debo? Probably Nico Collins, man. That's a really tough decision, but I would go Nico. As much as I like him. Will HN be playable with Tua's situation? 100%. It just won't be as high upside on a weekly basis. People keep on saying, should I look to sell Waddle? I don't know, man. I think, like, you're just selling low there. Like, nobody wants Waddle right now with the quarterback situation in Miami. There's a chance that Tua is back in, like, literally 2 weeks. There's a chance that they go out there and they get Ryan Tannehill. I'm just not in the business of, like, this is just, like, selling low after the images of Tua last night. I just think it's not a great move. I did miss Duke did it super chat. Flex Happy BR, you have Dowdle, McMillan, Leggett, and Wicks. Jeez, man. Jeez. I'm probably going Dowdle there. I'm probably going Dowdle and just hoping he falls in the end zone. What else here? Shaheed or Brandon Cooks? Give me Brandon Cooks. And then should I drop Tua? Probably. You don't have to if you don't, like, if there's no one to get, though. Reed, Moss, Bowers, or Deontay for your flex spot. Probably Zach Moss there, man. It doesn't sound super sexy, but probably Zach Moss. It's a game where he could score a touchdown. Maybe McBride. So yeah, that's where I'm at there. What else? Let's do some sort of rapid fire here. JSN or Demarcus Robinson? I'm on JSN. Demarcus Robinson or Ridley? I'd go Ridley there. I think that Demarcus Robinson's pretty thin this week. Godwin, DJ Moore, or Devontae Smith? Devontae Smith for me personally. Amon-Ra for Jamar Chase. Rest of season, I probably would prefer Amon-Ra, but I have him literally back-to-back. I have Amon-Ra wide receiver 5, Chase wide receiver 6. So you have to have a lot of conviction to do that. Should I trade Mason for Cook? If you can do Jordan Mason straight up for James Cook, go ahead, man. Should I target trading either Metcalf or Pickens if your team is wide receiver heavy? Not really, no. Drop Hollywood for Dowdle, Madison, or Bigsby. I would drop him for Dowdle, but it's tough to say. I would start Baker over Justin Fields this week. I would start Amari over JSN this week. Let's see. So we did the Kyler to McBride thing there. That should be fun. Moss or Ford? I'm going Jerome Ford over Zach Moss. Ford's in a pretty good spot here. Trade JT for CMC? No, sir. No, sir. Good RB targets for hero RB teams. That's a tough one. I'd be picking up Alexander Madison. Keenan Allen or Brian Thomas Jr.? Give me Keenan Allen. I'm assuming that's Brian Thomas Jr. or Pickens. I'd go Pickens there. Moss or Ford? Yes, Ford. I feel like I already answered that. Pick up Bigsby or Madison. Probably Madison for me, but it's very close. Or actually, no. Give me Bigsby over Madison, actually. Dobbins or Montgomery. Give me... Man, that's a really tough one. I'm probably Dobbins over Montgomery. I think I need to update my Montgomery ranking here in a second. I don't know. Maybe Kamara goes crazy here. All right, what else? I'm actually going to do that manually right now. I'm going to move Dobbins up. I'm moving Dobbins up to RB16, fellas. There's nothing nobody can say about it. I just think if you have Dobbins, you got to get him in the lineup. That's really what I'm trying to stress here. If you have Dobbins, figure out how to get him in there. That'd be my word of advice. It's just too good of a matchup. Too good of a matchup. DeMarcus Robinson or Singletary? Give me Singletary there. Let's see. What else? I'll answer a few more, and then I'm going to get out of here, fellas. Dobbins or Marv at flex? I'd go Dobbins. Montgomery or Olave? Probably Montgomery, man. As crazy as that sounds. And I would go Marvin Harrison Jr. over Terry McLaurin. We'll wrap it up there, fellas. I appreciate everyone that watched. Like I said, we're doing these every Friday. 6:30 p.m. Eastern, I'll be here. We'll be talking about what happened on Thursday night. We'll be talking about any of the injury news that happened, and I'll be answering your start sits as we do these drafts on Underdog. As always, make sure you check out Underdog Fantasy. That's what we just did right now for $5. We just played in a contest called the Battle Royale, where we can make up to like $30,000 this week if we can hit the nuts on one of those lineups. They have college football drafts. They have college football pick'ems. They have, of course, when you use promo code RON, they match your first deposit up to $1,000. I have links in the description, comment section, and the live chat right now if you want to check them out. As always, appreciate you guys watching, and I will see y'all in the next one.